I also want to talk to you about housing. Angela Rayner, she's been speaking out about that one. Listen to what she had to say.
Not for the first time, we're taking inspiration from that 1945 Labour government that built homes for heroes of the ruins of war. In that spirit of Clement Attlee, our approach to house building will be both proactive and strategic. As Secretary of State, I will empower our regional and local leaders to deliver as Labour councils and mayors do in West Yorkshire. Together, we can build beautiful new settlements right across the UK.
I don't know what's going on, everybody, but I was listening to it. I was nodding along because I actually do think that one of the biggest problems we've got at the moment is people being able to afford decent quality homes, the workers, the grafters. It's an absolute struggle, isn't it? Anyway, Ben Habib was laughing through that speech there. Why?
Angela's got it... Sounds like I've got all the answers. But she's got it wrong, hasn't she? Because post-World War II, the reason there was a massive building spree was because building regulations and planning regulations were both relaxed in order to make way for a huge building programme to rehouse people who had been bombed out of their homes. And we needed those homes, but we did it through deregulation. The Labour Party, under Tony Blair and then Gordon Brown, made planning and building regs an absolute nightmare. And it's become even worse as a result of the drive to net zero, because now every building has to be effectively net zero compliant, energy performance certificate rating of at least C by 2027, B by 2030. All of this is heaping cost on the creation of new housing. So if she thinks she's coming into office, the Labour Party, who created these problems in the first place, who are completely net zero nutcases, and they're going to come in and they're going to liberate the development of new housing, she hasn't got a clue. What the government absolutely needs to do is deregulate planning, deregulate building regs, make brownfield development and redevelopment much more cost-effective than greenfield development, and encourage the reusing of existing stock. There is lots of vacant housing in the United Kingdom already. There's loads, actually. And I don't think people actually realise just how much of that stuff there is. Ella Whelan, where are you on it?
Well, I agree with the scepticism of Labour's inability to tackle the planning issue. To be fair to them, they have, I think I remember Wes Streeting and some others, acknowledging the fact that the current UK housing planning, laws and permissions and all of that stifle any house building. So they're open to that conversation. You would hope that pressure, having them in government, they'd do something about that. We remain to see whether or not, and I share your scepticism. But in the abstract, let's think about the idea of building not just a few housing developments around the outskirts of towns, but whole new towns. This is her announcement. The idea of new Milton Keynes everywhere. I just think that's a fantastic idea. I think that you have to have the...
Stop laughing at it. He's sitting laughing away.
But this is, because we don't just need housing, we need the infrastructure of neighbourhoods and of, areas where people live in order to make quality of life good, for people to have an enjoyable lifestyle, to have the things that are nearby that they need, the shops, the parks, the access to jobs, the sort of community feel. All of that needs to happen, and that can happen if you have a grand project of building not just houses but of towns. I think we've got to be just absolutely hardline on this, which is that take no nonsense from any NIMBYs anymore. You mentioned at the top of the programme, Michelle, how would you feel if this sprung up at the end of your street? I think we've got to get a lot harder on people who it's particularly an issue in the South, a lot of Conservative voters who are very NIMBY-ish.
I think we've got to be... So you buy a house, it's your house, you've saved up, it's your home, you've got a nice little lookout over, I don't know, whatever, a field or whatever. And now all of a sudden they propose building this monstrosity, this massive tower block not far away from your kitchen window. And you're going, well, hang on a second, that's not the deal, that's not what I bought. And they're just going to go, tough luck. Now you've got your tower block. You won't be cool with that, Ella. Come on now.
I think that politically we have to prioritise the building of houses over people's views out of their kitchen window. Yeah. I do think we've got to be hardline about that. And to be fair, what Rayner has said is that they're going to institute this new towns code, will demand characterful design.
I need to push you, Ella. If you bought a nice detached house, I don't know, in the little quiet cul-de-sac, you've got these little kids and you have these dreams that they're going to play out on this street, and it's a quiet little area, that's why you buy your home. It's next to this little school, whatever. Then all of a sudden they decide that they're going to knock down whatever it is, some empty factory in the background, and now they're going to build this sprawling new town. So now your quiet little cul-de-sac that was nice and safe for your kids, it is no longer now, because now you live on a through road to this massive new town. Would you honestly be cool with that?
I might be aggrieved about it, but I don't think I should have the right to stop it.
But I think
because otherwise, this is what's happened. This is just, sorry, Ben, I'll shut up now. But this is what's been happening. You've got NIMBY behaviour stopping house building.
Oh, I'd be there with my placard. I'd be up and down my.
But you said you care about house building.
I do, but not at the end of my back garden.
Oh,
Thank you very much.
That's what everyone
says. From brownfield redevelopment and bringing derelict properties back into use. There's so much of it.
Not just brownfield, on the greenery, everywhere. Build.
No. And we've got to stop immigration, because the demands on housing from immigration are vast.
I am very, 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 very passionate about affordable housing for people, but I will also be honest, I would not want a brand new town popping up at the end of my road. Would you? Honestly, tell me the truth.